Here they.
Cherish that compliment, Rose.
I will.
Won't be too many more. Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Hi there, I'm back.
Oh, hi, Rose.
I'm back.
Where you been?
I've been to Korea. Goddamn. Guys, I am officially back. Mm-hmm. We are back to regular schedule programming. Yep. Well, we were never out of regular schedule programming, but
I was holding down the fort.
You mean we pre-recorded?
Yep, we pre-recorded, and then I did hours of editing.
Oh, you did. Mm-hmm. I appreciate
Making sure that content is coming out to
these
beautiful people out here.
Yeah.
So you guys, we didn't skip a beat, although, and you know what's so funny? Because like I was seeing some of the comments on YouTube, and you know how we were like, with the because obviously if you guys watched the last couple episodes, we did Am I the Asshole? And we referred to it as lazy content.
Yeah.
Because of that comment. And so many people were like, we love your lazy content. I was like, oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we need to sprinkle that in there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll keep that coming.
I think Am I the Asshole is becoming a pretty big hit on this channel.
I think so. People are enjoying it.
Yeah. So
So let us know if you want us to continue that.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to sometimes, maybe on like a slow news day,
Yeah.
Not that we've ever had a really slow news day.
Not really.
The world's a shit show. So
the world is a shit
there's
storm.
there's never a shortage of shitty ass news.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, we're going to get started with Patreon shout outs, you guys.
Yes, we are.
So if you don't know, we have a Patreon page where we do exclusive content every single month, and you get every episode a week earlier than everyone else. So it's a lot more timely, which is great for trending events, and you get ad-free content.
Exactly.
And you get a little shout out on our episodes.
You also get access to those, the library of exclusive episodes, which we've been doing one every single month since we started.
Yeah.
So there's tons and tons of content.
Exactly.
This month, or the month of October, we did similar to Am I the Asshole, but it was a relationship one. So that was kind of fun. We switched it up a little bit. We also have our personal dating stories.
Oh, goddamn.
If you guys want to find out about the great successes we've had in the dating world, check out that on our Patreon Patreon page, patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
So we would like to say thank you to
Taylor. Welcome to the Patreon family.
Yes, thank you, Taylor, for joining. And shall we? I don't know. How shall we jump in?
Well, do you not want to tell everyone how Korea was?
Korea, God damn
back to the motherland.
I went back to the I'm burning myself.
Oh, God damn, Rose, getting too excited.
Yeah, I went back to the motherland, guys. Motherland.
The motherland.
I was there on like a vegan, like what's called like a. I mean, I don't know how much.
An expose, not an expose.
Expose. That sounds like a scandal.
Well, it's funny, Rose, because last time we spoke, you're like, oh my God, it's been, I don't know, 11 years
it has
since I've been to Asia. And then in the last like 2 months,
I
you've
went
been
back
to Asia like
I know.
3 times.
Well, I went twice, but I went to a lot of countries. I went to first I went to Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore. Then I came back, and then I went to Korea. So, I was on like what's called like a FAM trip, which is like familiarization trip, where basically we just kind of like originally it was supposed to be all influencers, but that wasn't the case. But either way, it was like kind of like a vegan trip to kind of showcase Korean tourism. So it was like a week, and then I stayed another like week and a half to go to Jeju Island, which is kind of like the Hawaii of Korea, which is like, where a lot of Koreans go for vacation and stuff. And I also went to go see my family. And I don't know, like, what do you want to hear?
I was going to ask you, like, has it changed a lot from when you were there last? Like,
well, you know what I was thinking? Like, I was like, it's changed, but also like not really. Like it has, but not really. But also like maybe I just don't remember. Yeah. The one thing I did notice, which is like kind of funny, is I think I was telling you about this. The bathrooms are so clean.
Oh yeah, you did tell me. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell's going on over here? Because here's the thing. It's not like I never thought that Korea had like really dirty public bathrooms. Yeah. But there were definitely some dirty ones, right? Like in like train stations or like
the typical ones. Yeah. Usually any country you go to.
Exactly.
You go to the bathroom in the train station. It's not nice, guys.
No,
it never is.
And also like they always warn you before you go to Korea that like the public bathrooms don't have toilet paper. Yeah. And so I was kind of like, I mean, let's face it, I wasn't prepared, but I was mentally prepared.
Were you mentally prepared?
I was mentally prepared. But I got there and I only had one train station that didn't have, or like one bathroom that didn't have toilet paper.
So that's not bad.
Every other bathroom has toilet paper, and every bathroom was like clean. Like there was maybe one or two that were like little less clean.
Yeah.
But like they're not dirty at all. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Not to throw shade. I love Spain. Okay.
Oh.
I love living there, guys. It was a great experience. But for those of you that have been, like, back me up on this one. Like, a lot of the restroom situations there were left a lot to be desired. My favorite experience, and I don't know if I shared it on this podcast, guys, while I was living there, a bunch of us went out for like a night out where we were going clubbing and whatever. And I go to this bathroom and I was like, I just really need to go to the bathroom in a club. So I opened the door for the men's bathroom. And I've never seen anything like this, guys. There was some urinals just around the, like, on the one wall. And then there was just like a regular toilet. Just in the middle. There was no cubicle, no nothing. Just a fucking toilet. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine if you actually like really had to take a shit?
What do you do?
Like, do you just
Was
go?
Was it like a straight club? A gay club?
It was a straight club. It wasn't a gay bar.
And it was a male bathroom?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
It was very, very, it was weird.
Was it dirty?
It was gross, yeah.
Ew!
It was just not a nice bathroom. Like, I mean, most nightclubs don't have nice bathrooms to begin with.
Yeah,
so
I bet you in Korea they do.
Probably.
Although I didn't go to a nightclub in Korea. Oh, it's not really a club.
You went drinking. You know what? From the sounds of that area that you went to, like, I would like to go there.
Well, I mean, this leads to the first story that we need to talk about.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You forgot, hey?
No, I did not. I did not forget. I'm just like I'm like, whoa, we're gonna hit the stories.
We're gonna dive
hard.
right in.
Oh god damn.
Yeah. No. Overall, though, Korea was really fun. The vegan trip was really nice. Again, it's so nice to like do a vegan tour.
Yeah.
Because then you don't really have to like worry. Once I was out of the vegan tour, it was a little bit of a challenge for sure. I had a lot of bibimbap without egg. That was like the only thing you could get. Like the problem with Korea is like it's so annoying because Korean food can be easily made vegan with just like leaving maybe one or two ingredients out. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And even like so many of tofu dishes were like not vegan because they would make like a mapo tofu, which has like meat in it, or like you know,
fish. Or
exactly.
Sauce
they
and
would
stuff.
use like fish sauce or like you know meat sauce or something. So annoying.
It's crazy to me because like a lot of these foods, like these different types of foods, they taste almost exactly the same without using that sauce.
But they don't think like that.
Yeah, it's like with one of the things is like potato chips, like crisps. I'm just thinking crisps in general, and how a lot of them use like milk powder as one of the
do not get me started.
It's like the stupidest thing ever because as someone that used to eat the regular chips and eats the other chips now, it's like literally almost identical and you're saving an ingredient that you don't need. Like I'm like, well, this is like almost more cost effective.
Well, I think there's a reason why milk ingredients are like everywhere, but I don't know why.
It's because the milk industry did a really good job of marketing, Rose. Let me tell you.
Exactly. And I think they sell like whatever like byproducts from like the milk products.
Yeah.
They sell it for probably really cheap. I don't know. I don't know the details, but it's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, what was this? Oh yeah. So Korea, like, unless you go to a specifically vegan/vegetarian restaurant, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Like it's so tough. That's why like basically I ate bibimbap. And like there was some other things that I probably ate. Or like kimbap, which is like the seaweed rolls.
Ooh.
You could eat that, but again, you'd have to like alter it. You'd have to ask for like no egg, no meat.
I had that. There's a place that makes
They made it for you.
They made it like it was like a vegan one. It wasn't as good as yours.
God damn, Daniel. I'd be happy to hear that.
Cherish that compliment, Rose.
I will.
Won't be too many more.
I mean, I know that for a fact.
Oh, guys, I've said it on this podcast and I stand by what I say. Okay, guys, the snacks you need for a hike. Okay. You need instant noodles and you need kimbap.
And who taught you that, Daniel?
You.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, game changer, guys.
I swear this is like the only reason why we go hiking. It's to like eat the food.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, food was tough. But videos coming soon. Probably not soon. Probably in a few months.
Yep.
And yeah, it was really nice to go see my family and everything. So, well, I'll tell the story that leads to the story of today.
The story of the story. Yes.
So basically, on my last night in Korea, I like went back to Seoul. So I was like visiting my family. They don't live in Seoul. So I went back to Seoul the night before I was supposed to fly out. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I spent the day doing random stuff. And then in the evening, I met up with one of my friends that lives in Seoul. And if you don't know, Seoul is the capital of Korea. It's like a very big city. Anyways, one of my friends that lives in Seoul, I met up with her and I hadn't seen her for a few years. So we went out drinking. We went to an area called Itaewon, which is like a very popular kind of nightlife district / like a lot of foreigners like to go there as well. It's like very like multicultural. And we had dinner there, had some wine. We went to another place, had some more wine. Then we ended up in like the party area of Itaewon. Which is like an alleyway.
Of course you did, Rose.
Excuse me. I was quite drunk, let me tell you. We had polished off 2 bottles of wine at this point.
Uh-oh.
And then we were like, in the party mood. And it was the Thursday night. Yeah. And it was still kind of busy. Like, it wasn't crazy, but it was kind of busy. And then we ended up in this like random, like, I don't know, bar / like, those bars that kind of have like a dance floor. It was like that, and everyone.
But they don't have like a delegated dance floor. It's more just kind of.
It kind of had a delegated dance floor, but it was kind of small.
Yeah.
But it's like mostly people standing around or sitting down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You've been to more than a few of those, I'm sure.
I have, and except for me, I'd be the one dancing those.
You'd be the one dancing.
I'd be dancing.
You'd be the one twerking.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find me a man.
Oh god damn. So. And I think also there is where there's like the gay bars. Itaewon.
Okay, interesting.
So you would definitely like it there. But so I got very drunk, and then that was my night. Now, that was 2 days before. No, wait. So that was the night before I left.
Yeah.
I left on Friday. Okay. Come back on Saturday. And then I hear all kinds of news. So anyways, I got back, and then so I left on Friday.
Okay.
Got back on. I got back on Friday because Canada's like behind. The time is behind. Right.
Yeah.
So I got back on Friday, and then Saturday, my friend texts me, and she texts me some kind of screenshot of like Korean news or something. And the thing is, I read Korean, I understand Korean, I can read it, but sometimes when I see like a big text of Korean, it doesn't absorb as quickly as when I see like English. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like English, I can literally look at something and it already absorbs.
Right away, you'd be like, oh my God.
Exactly. Whereas Korean, I'm like, okay, I have to kind of take time to read it.
Yeah.
And then I just said something like 100,000 people in Itaewon or something like this. Keep in mind, this is Halloween weekend. And this is apparently when like everyone goes out for Halloween, and everyone will see Itaewon, because Korea like never really celebrated Halloween until like, I don't know, a few years ago. And so it makes sense that they would celebrate it in like Itaewon, which is like the multicultural area. Anyway, I hear this and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of people. Didn't register anything. I was like, oh, that's a lot of people. That's kind of like fucked up. That's really busy. Yeah. And then me and my friend were discussing other things. And then a few hours later, shit is fucking hitting the fan. And I'm hearing all this news about people dying in Itaewon. People it's a crowd surge. What do you call it? A crowd crush?
A stampede? No.
Well, they call it a stampede, but it wasn't a stampede, they said. A stampede is like when people are like running, right? Yeah. It was a slow crowd crush situation.
Oh God, I can't think of anything worse.
So this is this first story of today, you guys. It is very depressing. I honestly couldn't stop thinking about this.
Because you were literally just there.
I was literally just there 2 days before this happened, because I left Friday and then this happened on Saturday.
And if you would have been there on Halloween, Rose, you probably would have gone out.
I probably would have gone out there. Like guaranteed, I probably would have gone out there, because that's like where you go on Halloween. Yeah. And who would have thought? Nobody would have thought that this would happen. Yeah.
But that's also why, like, I get partially why they have like all the clubs in one area, but also it's like maybe you should have it a little bit like more kind of.
The thing is, it's such an issue of. The more I think about this, the more I am like angry, because it's so preventable. It was preventable. Yeah. Sure, there's a lot of people. You're right. Yeah. And sometimes the thing is, like, people want to go to one place. Korea is a small country. Yeah. Seoul is very, very densely populated. It is like, there are few areas where people like to go out.
Isn't there more people in Korea than all of Canada?
Yes.
And it's like smaller than Alberta.
Yes.
Yeah, that's insane.
And most of Koreans live in Seoul. Yeah. Or like near Seoul. So the more I think about this, the more I'm like, oh my God, it could have been prevented, because there's a lot of issues. Like, for example, they didn't have enough police. They didn't have enough security. People, like, there was nobody manning the crowd. Yeah. Like, that's insane. Because at first I was like, why was there nobody, like, why was there
ushering or
And then my friend was like, well, it's like it wasn't like a planned event. It wasn't a private event. It's just the street. But I was thinking, later on I thought about it and I was like, well, that's not really an excuse because, why do we have government? Why do we have police? Okay. Like, do they only, look out for private business?
Also, like, think about it. Like, it's the street, but at the same time, they knew it was like
they
Halloween
knew
weekend.
it was happening.
And the Halloween weekend, from the articles that I read about this, it's always a busy, like up until obviously with COVID kind of fucks shit up. So this was the first time in like 3 years, I think it was, that it's like open for business basically in Korea, right? And that's partially probably why even more people, but it sounded like in previous years before COVID, there was almost just about the same amount of people.
Yeah, they say so. At first I was like, oh my God, maybe it was just too many people.
Yeah.
But then later I found out that, other years, because even my friend told me, I remember this part, even though I was drunk on Thursday night, as we're walking in that same exact area where this fucking shit happened. When we were walking there, she was like, because this is like a couple days before Halloween, right? She was like, I came here on Halloween like a few years ago and it was insane. Yeah. She was like, it was so packed. Yeah. You couldn't even move. And I was like, holy shit.
So it's like standard. It happens every year.
It's standard. And they said that, in like previous years, there was even potentially more people. God damn. But it was like nobody was like manning anything. So they said over 130,000 people showed up to this.
That's insane.
Absolutely insane. Because this area is not big.
That's like if 10% of Calgary showed up in one spot.
Oh God. It's so I can't even picture, because when they said that number I was like, I can't even picture like 10,000 people in that area.
I wonder if, because like honestly, London Pride, when I went, it was a fucking shit show. There were so many people there. Right. I wonder if that was around 100,000. Maybe it was, but it's
a bigger area
and it was spread out so much. I think so. Yeah. Well, Soho was pretty small.
Not compared to Itaewon.
Yeah.
So they said that many people showed up and there was 137 officers. So we're talking one officer for every 100 people. And I don't know, I'm not like a security guru, but that seems like a really small amount of officers. And they weren't assigned to like man the crowd. They were assigned to look for illegal activity, like drugs.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So basically, nobody was manning the crowd. And if you haven't heard this news, I'm sure you all have heard this by now. But basically what happened was there was a crowd surge situation. These are small alleyways that people were like literally just stuck in. And people died. A lot of people died. Over 150 people have died.
That's insane.
It's absolutely crazy. Like 150 plus people. Most of which were in their 20s because obviously they're out partying.
Yeah.
And
what about us, Rose? We still go out. We in our 30s.
Well, we probably would. Well, let's not talk about that. Oh my God, it's so sad.
Well, and Rose, me and Rose talked about this the other day. And if you guys take one thing from this podcast today, and I think Rose, you should explain to the audience
what you need to do.
What you need to do if you're ever in it. Because I've been in these situations. I'm sure Rose has been in these situations where not so much a crowd surge, but just a very, very crowded place where something like this could happen.
Yeah. So I think, this is one thing I was like starting to look up because I was like obsessively looking at this news like when it first happened. And I was like, let's make something like useful out of this because I was like, what do I do? Because I wouldn't even know what to do in that situation.
Especially because you're small, right? Like you're a small woman.
I'm a higher risk.
You're much higher. Like me, I'm like a pretty big guy, right?
And you're taller. So maybe there's less like pressure here because there's less people like, I don't know.
Because I'm up a little bit higher, right? Yeah.
So one of the things that you should do, first of all, they say like, obviously like look out for your surroundings, like kind of like be aware and see if things are getting too crazy and see if you can get out when you can. That's like rule number one. Look for any place where you can just kind of get out. If there is like room in the back, just like fucking leave. Okay. It's not worth it. Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly is you have to, this is the one thing that I really took away from this is like protect your chest area. So like, I don't know how to describe this. You like fold your arms and then just cover your, like, what is this forearm?
Your forearm.
You take your forearms and put them in front of your chest and then just like leave them there and just kind of make space for your lungs, because one of the reasons why people die in these situations is because they get their lungs or their chest gets like,
well, because think about it, you'd have people like here
exactly, so there's no room. Oh God,
And you wouldn't be able to do anything. Like you would slowly get crushed.
So then you're literally getting crushed and you can't, there's no room to breathe, right? So that's why a lot of people in this situation as well.
It's so
I know it's so bad.
Those
like,
poor people that died. Like
oh my God, I cannot believe it because people literally, they just passed out while they were standing because they couldn't breathe while they were standing.
Fucking hell.
Because before I thought you die because in these situations when you fall, which is another reason that you could potentially die,
of course,
is when you fall, what happens oftentimes is when one person falls, if you're all crowded together, one person falls, other people are going to fall, and then the people at the bottom are just getting crushed.
Yeah, and then they can't move. Like you can't do anything.
Exactly.
So it's giving me like
I know
feelings.
You could also get trampled. I'm sorry if this is disturbing, but this is very important information.
Yeah.
You could also get trampled, but you could also so one thing is that cover your chest, protect, and they say like this might still like fucking hurt, like your arms might get broken or whatever, but at least you can breathe and like your arms can potentially be fixed.
Yeah.
Right. But if you can't breathe, like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So cover your chest, protect your chest. Try to conserve as much oxygen. So try not to scream too much or like make any try to just breathe. And like I don't know how easy this is, but try not to fall. Like that's easier said than done. But like when you fall, like or if you see someone fall, like help them up or something, because when people fall, like dude.
But I guess like it just really, and I think in those situations, like what I would also recommend to do if possible is like if you're going into a crowd, like okay, this is like a little bit less of a situation because obviously this is like we're talking narrow streets, alleyways, all this kind of stuff, but like try to, if you can, have like an exit or like see where there's like a place to go. Like one of the things that I personally did, but probably because I'm getting older now, is like I went to a festival. It's a very different situation, but I was never right up at the front. I kind of was like more, I still was in the crowd, but I was like kind of at the back. So like if things got hectic, I had like an exit strategy like in my mind. Yeah. And I feel like it will be harder in this situation, but I think just like being mindful, and if it is getting really, really busy, like maybe just be like actually try to take yourself out of that situation.
It's so tough because in this specific situation, like
plus everyone was drunk too, right? So
people were drunk, but also the way that there's been a lot of criticism, which it's fair because it's valid because again, they say that like this area, it's like it's always been like a crowding issue. Apparently the subway goes straight into that kind of like into that alleyway. So basically the problem is people because I heard that from the subway it was already busy, right? So when you're like in the subway, it's already busy, but you're thinking, because like my thought process would be when I get out of the subway, there's going to be more room because we're outside. But apparently you got out and then you basically, there was like, it was so crowded that you like, it was already starting. So people are saying,
think about if the subway's crowded and packed, more people are coming off the train, just going up the escalator. Like what's going to happen? They have to like,
and then the problem is because the subway leads to that alleyway, it's like people start walking in that direction just naturally. And then people were saying there was no way of like, because some people are stupid and they're saying, why didn't you turn back? Sometimes there's no turning back.
Well, exactly.
And also oftentimes you don't know what's going on in the front, right? Like if you're in the back, you're just thinking, oh, if I go this way,
it will get less crowded.
Exactly. Or that's the way to get to the bars. So like you're not thinking like, it's a fucking crowd search situation.
Also, you probably pre-drank. You're going to meet some friends. You're all ready to party. You're in your Halloween costume.
Yes.
The last thing you're doing
is leaving.
Is turning back because because when you first get out of the subway, you're like, oh, it's a bit crowded.
Yeah.
But so you're like
what's this? People are saying stupid shit like as if they were there. Like, of course you would keep going. Like, unless you already knew people were screaming and like fucking dying and stuff.
Yeah. Like if you got off the subway and you heard like high pitched screaming and all this shit, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try to get back down there.
Exactly. So it's like. And even if you're trying to get back, apparently it was just like, it was so crowded already. Yeah. Because again, there was nobody like managing the crowd. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. But yeah, like it was, and apparently this is what my mom told me. I didn't actually look into this. Apparently there was like a YouTuber, a Korean YouTuber or something that went there to like, like vlog or whatever. And then he like realized like, he was like, this is fucked. So he went to the police and was like, y'all need to do something about this because it's going to be very dangerous. Yeah. And then I don't know what they did. I don't know if they did anything. Yeah. But basically like people were trying to warn like, God. Because it was so bad. Yeah. So anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So basically it's tough because that area, it's like, I don't know if it's also tough because like, one other tip is to try to avoid like the solid, like a wall or like anything solid where you could get like crushed.
Yeah.
Because at least if it's like with people. You can move with the wave. That's another thing that they say. They just like say move with the wave and don't push, but like also just kind of go with the crowd.
Yeah.
Because like if you try to resist, that might, I don't know.
God,
it's
so
so fucking bad. So right now it's like, I don't know, it's still an ongoing case. I'm sure we'll learn more as the time goes, but it's so sad. And here's the thing. Okay, I'm Korean, so I can, well, anyone can criticize this, but Korea has a fucking issue with safety, public safety, and lack of care for public safety. So this is another situation. The thing is, it is absolutely insane. Yes, there are crowd crushes. These things happen, but that's an extraordinary amount of people.
Yeah.
To die in a crowd crush. That's a lot of fucking people. That's not normal. That means there was nothing done about safety. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing done. There was no like crowd control measures, nothing. And what kills me is that, yeah, it wasn't a random event. It was an event that they knew was going to be crowded.
And it's happened years and years
it's
and
happened
years and
for
years.
years and years. And
Yeah.
I read all these things. I don't know if this is true, but basically, I don't want to say anything if it's not true, but basically a lot of blame is to the government, which I think there should be, because there was no protocol. There was nothing. Like, what is the point of the government if you're not going to fucking take care of the people? You know?
Especially the like obviously I'm not saying the police force is perfect or anything like that, any stretch of the imagination, but whenever you have these big events, and it's same with like if you go to a stadium, if you go whatever, anytime there's a shitload of people in one place,
yes,
you need to
it is dangerous.
Exactly. You need to have some form of like control or some form of like direction. Somebody saying, okay, you guys go this way, you go this way, like just to kind of like manage the crowd essentially.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, that's when things get out of hand. I watched this other, like, to digress for 2 seconds, I watched this thing in Spain. There was like a concert or something where some people were trying to get out, and like there was too many people trying to flood through this one door, and people fell down, and more people just started falling and falling and falling on top of them.
Oh God.
Yeah. And it was like where was the like where was anyone? Like, where was the protocol? Where is the like?
That's the thing. It's like these things can be avoided.
Yeah.
So one example. So I said there was 137 officers for this crowd of over 130,000 fucking people. Yeah. Which, you know, again, like some of us, we don't know how many officers should be there, but some people are pointing out some differences here. Yeah. So at a concert of BTS K-pop stars in Busan, attended by 55,000 people, was manned by 2,700 security officers. That's half of, like, more than half. Oh, wait, I can't even talk.
It's more than...
Yeah, it's less than half. No, more than half. No, less than half.
Basically, the police officers that were in there, it was like a fraction of how many. Yes.
So, what I meant to say was the number of attendees at this concert was less than half of the attendees of the Halloween event. And there were 2,700 officers versus 137.
I think the difference there where people can say is because it was a private event.
Of course, I understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, that's the kind of stark contrast as to maybe that's how many people are needed for these types of events. Like, I get that it won't be that many officers. Like, I understand that. But even, like, I don't know, something about 137 for 130,000 people just does not sit right with me.
And maybe for this Halloween bash, or if there's like huge parties that are happening in this district, maybe some of the responsibility for paying for, you know, security and everything else should fall on some of the businesses. Maybe, like, you know what I mean?
No, I think it's because who's gonna pay that?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay it?
But what if it's like a fraction that each business has to contribute a little bit to? Because they're going to get extra business.
But someone's going to, I mean, I understand that, but someone's going to have to like organize that.
That's true, yeah.
It's the government. I'm sorry. It's the government's responsibility. There's a public event. This shit does not happen in other, like, imagine this happening in Canada.
Well, there's not that many people here, Rose.
But
no, I'm just kidding.
Imagine if there were. I don't think it would happen.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. But I think one of the reasons is because they don't follow safety protocol. There was the fact that there was not even the officers were only assigned like to look for drugs.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Were the officers not like freaking out of how many people
there
were there?
There was one video. It was really fucking sad. There was one video of this one guy that was like a police officer that was like begging people, like, and like it was so loud, probably people couldn't even hear him.
Yeah.
And the fact that like they didn't even have like what do you call it, like a microphone things, megaphones or anything. Like he was just desperately trying to get people out of the situation.
Yeah.
And he was just all by himself in this crowd of people. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh God, it's giving me heart palpitations.
Yeah. And the reason why like I'm criticizing the security is because, again, this is not just like one incident. Like something like this, for example, a lot of people are comparing this to what happened in the like in 2014. There was like a big, huge disaster in Korea as well. It was like the ferry. Do you remember this? It was a Seoul ferry disaster where basically a ferry basically capsized. It like sank.
Did it sink in the harbor or like nearby?
It was in the middle of the something.
Yeah.
Like it was in the middle of the water.
Okay.
And it sank and it killed like 500 people. Like most of which were high school students.
God damn, I think I do remember hearing about
it was
this.
a huge story because one of the main reasons why this happened was because they didn't follow the basically safety protocols are not enforced. And this happens time and time again in Korea. And in other countries as well. I'm not just criticizing Korea. I'm just saying like, because this is what I know. This is my country. I know. But like one of the reasons is because they didn't follow safety protocol. And there were dangers and signs, but no one's enforcing it. First of all, people are not like say what you'll say about Canada. And the reason why I say I don't think it'll happen in Canada is because I feel like, you know, we complain about how boring this country is and stuff, but we care a lot about safety.
This is so
and
true.
I feel like we would enforce safety, like code and all these things. And another thing that happened in like, this was like back in the day, like 30 years ago, 1995 or something. People are comparing it to a lot of these big tragedies that happened because, again, like it's kind of crazy that these would happen in what is now a developed country.
Yeah.
Basically, I still remember this event because I was still living in Korea at the time. I was very young, but basically there was a department store that collapsed. Okay. The ferry event was about 300 people that died.
Yeah.
Again, most of which were high school students, which is
so
so fucking sad. Don't get me started.
But even these people that in this most recent thing, like they're all young 20-year-olds.
I know. Oh God.
Imagine
you're going out for Halloween. You want to have a good time.
But also what's even more disturbing, like imagine like we'd gone out together. Okay. You couldn't find me.
Oh my God. Don't. It's
And
so
then-
fucking sad.
And we're like in our 20s and you know, I'm dead at the bottom of the
Oh
crowd.
God.
And we just went for a night out for some drinks.
It's so fucking sad.
like it's
and the people, I know, it's so bad. So hold on, collapse. So in 1995, this department store just collapsed, killing 500 people. It literally just collapsed, and it killed over 500 people, injured 937. Like, look at this picture. And it's because the developers
wasn't to code.
It wasn't to code. They just fucking, ignored the safety protocols. They were warned multiple times. Same thing with the ferry, I think.
Yeah.
Warned multiple times. They were told, like, this is not safe.
Yeah.
And they ignored it. And apparently, after this, like, the Korea always waits until, like, shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, maybe we should look into safety. It's like, how many people need to die before you fucking look into this? So after that, apparently, they did, like, some kind of analysis of like Korean buildings and if they're up to code or not. They found that apparently 2% of all like structures in Korea were up to code.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the other way around. Holy shit.
No, 2%.
So most of them are not.
No. And there's always issues. Like we don't hear about all of the small things. My parents are always like, oh, when you go to Korea, make sure you stay in like at least a nice hotel.
Yeah.
Don't stay in some cheap place because people don't follow code. They'll try to be cheap and they'll do this. It happens again and again because they don't enforce it.
And that's scary because in Korea, isn't there not, especially in Seoul, is there not a lot of skyscrapers and shit?
There's a lot of skyscrapers.
Oh God, that's so scary.
Like, I mean, to be fair, the big buildings, I'm sure now, like, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Anyways.
Damn.
So, the area, even in Itaewon, apparently, like, there's a lot of safety issues already that were well known.
Yeah.
So, it's always ignored. Nobody cares. Until
Something
people
happens.
die.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucking sad. Like, I just can't even, like, I don't know. Like, over 150, I think 156 at this point, people have died.
I think this one hits hard because it's like,
it hits so hard.
because we were once in our 20s going out.
Yeah, it's just like, I imagine like us
but
going
also
out.
the
and
fact that you were
excited.
there like literally a day or two before it happened.
Oh my God, I was so fucking freaked out. I was like, holy shit.
But like, do you think if you were there and you saw it getting that busy, like would you leave?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to say because
Yeah.
again, if you look at the pictures, I mean, I don't suggest you do because they are very disturbing. But like, you can look at the pictures and see how packed everybody was. You could not move after a certain point. So, and imagine like everyone's moving and then you're like, let's say you're in the middle, but then there's people coming from the back. So it's not like you can like make space because there's more people coming. Like people are piling, like they're coming. Oh
my God, it's so stressful.
So it's like, how are you supposed to turn back? So I feel like, again, it's easier said than done to be like, yeah, you should find a space to leave.
Yeah.
That's if it's possible.
That's true. Yeah.
I think for most of these people.
If you have too many people flooding into one area, it's just not going to be.
And for most of these people, it probably was not possible for them to move. So they were just stuck there.
Yeah.
And then like, and then there's footage of like officers just like pulling people out of the fucking, it was bad. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't think I could have turned. I don't know. Like, it would just depend on how lucky you are. Like how far back were you before the shit hit the fan?
Exactly. What area were you? Because I'm like, there might have been parts of that area that were a little bit better than others to get out.
Oh God. And then there's people that were like blaming, there was like someone that wrote that like, oh my God, there was people that were saying like push. And then like people are freaking out about that. They're like, oh my God, these people need to like be held accountable. And I'm like, okay, first of all, obviously hindsight's 2020 and you know, like it's not a good idea to push in a crowd like this. Okay. So that's one thing to know, but I don't know. I feel like most people don't even know that. Like, and also you don't know, like they can't see the front. So they can't see that it's a dangerous situation necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we pushed in a crowd? Like we all push a little bit to get into somewhere or whatever.
Yeah.
So first instinct would probably be to push. So I don't think it's like, you can't really blame the people that were there.
Also, they don't know what's going on, right? Like,
Exactly.
it's like, you don't know what's happening. You just think, I want to get to the bar. Like, why are you guys in my way? Like, what's happening
They're not
here?
thinking like, oh my God, if I push, I'm going to kill people.
Plus, a lot of these people were probably pre-drinking. Like, I'm guessing there were no sober thoughts in this whole situation.
And even if you were sober though, like, I don't know. I feel like you're in a crowd. You're thinking, I need to get somewhere.
I need to meet my friends.
And you push. And like, yes, again, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But like, to blame them is like missing the point completely.
Yeah, God, that would just, the whole situation stresses me out.
It is so sad, and I just feel bad for, I don't know, like just
the families and the kids.
God, just imagine. You just went out, just wanted to go out for have a good night.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry to depress you guys, but that's what's happening in Korea. Damn. That was my rant. I'm very pissed. And this shit's gonna keep happening until like shit really changes, which it probably won't under this government.
Oh God damn.
Anyways. I'll be pissed.
I can see that, Rose. My goodness.
I'll be fucking pissed. Well, it's always the same shit. And it's sad because it's like
innocent people are dying.
It's
for
always
no reason.
the innocent people that die for no reason. And the high school kids that died in the ferry, they were going on like a school trip.
Fuck.
It's so fucking sad.
That is, oh God.
Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, can't trust the government. Can't trust developers. Can't trust anybody.
Nope.
So that's the first story.
Oh God damn! Is the next one more depressing?
Oh
Rose?
God, I don't even know. Now I forgot what I wanted to talk about.
Oh God damn.
God damn, Daniel. I'd be sad. God, can you imagine?
No. I think because I get like it makes me feel anxious.
Yeah.
Only
oh my God.
Like,
just the thought of it.
Yeah. Like even when I went to that festival this summer.
Yeah.
I was always like in the back. Like I was like.
And you were in an open space
exactly.
too. But
so
even then.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Even at times I would be like, I'd sometimes go a little bit further in and I was like, okay, there's like just too many people around me.
Yeah. Oh.
You know?
Oh wait. Here's the thing. Another thing, not to continue on this, but like, it says that the first call to the police from Itaewon is the area where this whole thing happened, came at 6:34 local time, several hours before the deadly crush took place. The caller to South Korea's emergency number said that they were on the main street to Itaewon and an alley next to the Hamilton Hotel was becoming dangerously crowded. That alley is really dangerous right now. People going up and down and people can't come down, but people keep coming up. It's going to be crushed. I barely made it out and it's too crowded. I think you should control it, the caller said. The police officer asked if the caller meant that the people weren't flowing well, that they get crushed and fall and then there's going to be a big accident. And the caller responded, "This is so chilling right now." That was the first of at least 10 calls to police in the capital of Seoul over the next 3 hours on Saturday. But that night, the local residents say the police presence was wholly inadequate. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were warned hours before.
Yeah.
Yet they didn't do anything.
Fuck.
Until 150 fucking people died. So that's great. Gotta love.
And how many more injured and everything else? Who knows?
Let me see the current numbers.
Like
it keeps it's so bad. Well, the death toll is 156.
Holy shit.
And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people injured as well. I don't know the exact numbers, but
I think injured is harder to calculate because some people might get injured but go home and
true,
like not go
yeah.
to the doctors and
then
stuff.
some of those injured people might still like have, conditions that might end up killing them.
Yeah.
God.
Like if they got crushed and punctured a lung or
yeah,
something.
or like something like
maybe
that.
they're in ICU.
Yeah, and I saw people like with their legs all bruised up. Like, oh my God, it's so fucking bad. Now I literally like, I feel like anytime I see a crowd, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah.
Like,
God.
especially because I'm like, most people that die were like women, like, because that's just like naturally women are mostly smaller, and they're more likely to get crushed faster. So like I think at least 100 of them were women, which is still a lot of men as well.
Yeah.
But like holy fuck. Anyways,
what's our next story, Rose? I want to.
Okay, you want to move on from this?
Yeah, because it's like.
Well, there's a little bit of happy news, I guess. I don't really know what to say about this, but in Brazil, there was an election, and crazy right-wing lunatic has been ousted from the government. Yeah. So basically, Brazil. Just had an election and it was against. Let me get the info here. So Brazil had the crazy like Trump wannabe Bolsonaro as the president for the however last many years, and then the one that just won is a guy named Lula. Let's see. And of course, because Bolsonaro is a Trump wannabe, he does not concede to Lula, which means he's not accepting the result of the election.
So it is typical like Trump.
Yeah.
He's probably going to say that the election was rigged, and he'll demand a recount.
Yeah. So Lula apparently is very progressive, and I think he was a president before, and now he made it again. So he's kind of like opposite of Bolsonaro, I think, in a lot of ways, which is good. And he probably will also like care about the environment, which is like a huge thing in Brazil, right? Like, because Bolsonaro like did not give a fuck about the environment, and he was like did not give a shit about the rainforest or whatever the fuck. And I think this guy's gonna at least do something about it.
Well, yeah, because I found out I didn't find out, but I think I can't remember if it was in a documentary or whatever it was, but they're talking about the Amazon rainforest, and they were saying about how obviously they have to clear the rainforest for agriculture. Yeah. But the problem is like the actual soil. It's interesting. The rainforest is a really interesting ecosystem. Yeah. And the actual soil that the rainforest is in, from my understanding, it's like not actually that nutrient rich. Okay. And so when they clear parts of the rainforest, they don't get that many years of like successful like farming and stuff off the land because it's there's not enough nutrients in the soil. And
it only lasts a certain amount of time.
Exactly. So they have to keep going. And then also like they just need more space, and there's a lot of cattle farming and all kinds of stuff. And the thing that gets me, and I don't know about you guys, like what blows my mind is when they say like those figures, where they're like every minute a football field of Amazon rainforest is destroyed or something, right? And I'm like, how long can this go on until it's all gone? Right. Do you know what I mean? Like when when you hear those facts where they're like, for example, every minute a garbage truck is dumped into the ocean. Yeah. And you think to yourself, I'm like, how long can that go on for?
Well, it's kind of crazy that it's gone on for this long.
I know. And the rainforest is a perfect example. Like the rainforest before must have been fucking huge. Yeah. No kidding, right? Yeah. And like this earth is much bigger than we can even imagine. Oh yeah, apparently. We can't even fathom it. Yeah. Like it's huge. And think
about all the garbage. Yeah. Think about all our garbage. Like on a weekly basis, each one of us, how much garbage do we produce? Garbage, like plastic, all this shit. Yeah. Where the fuck is that shit going?
Landfills, they're burning some of it, goes into the ocean. Like
but that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like that's a lot of garbage.
This is the thing. I think the thing with people is like we're so good at just like naturalizing our environment. Yeah. When you start to think of the magnitude of like everything on the planet, it starts to get overwhelming. And like I think about like animal agriculture and stuff like this, and they talk about how there's like I believe that there's more animals being raised for animal agriculture than there are people on the planet.
Oh, there's well over
like
more
billions and
like
billions.
There's not even a comparison.
Yeah, and they're saying like obviously all the waste. I'm kind of digressing a little bit, but like these things, and this again links back to Brazil in the sense that like it's what I want to say about the rainforest is what is it called? It's a snowball effect. Yeah. Because what happens is the rainforest is such a huge converter of CO2 to oxygen, right? And as we destroy more of that, less of our CO2 is being able to be converted, and the rainforest is destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's like this cycle. So I hope that they implement some stuff to start maybe
I think he might.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Like, is some of it like I don't know too much about Brazil. Like, is some of it a national park? Like, is there parts
I don't really know either.
Like,
I don't know much about Brazil either.
Yeah.
But all I know is that Bolsonaro is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's happy news.
We should message Thais.
I was like, what are you about to say to me?
Mm.
Who should we message, Daniel?
We should
Anyway.
message a Brazilian. You know?
Yes. We do have a friend in Brazil.
We do, yeah.
So I will message her and be like, what do you think of what happened?
Yeah, what's going on? What's happening here?
So
Well,
yeah.
I think that's good. I hope he does bring about some positive change.
Hopefully. Anything is better than a Brazilian Trump.
Yes. Well, anything's just better than Trump in general.
Oh God, don't get me
started. And we talked about this in another episode. Like, who are these people that are like 80 years old running for presidency? I'm like,
well, even this
retire.
Luna guy. Well, to be fair, I think this Luna guy's kind of old. Let me see.
Like, how old is he? I just don't get it.
You know what? I don't mind if they're like old and they're gonna do good things.
Yeah. But I think to myself, I'm like, as soon as I hit like the age of retirement, like, of course I'm gonna have some hobbies and stuff, but I don't want a job. I want to enjoy being retired. Like,
I know. Like, I was literally thinking about this exact thing today, and I was like, I don't know why I was thinking about it, but I was literally like, a part of me has a little bit of respect for these presidents, because I'm like, I don't know, like, in what world would I want to be working, and not just working, but as the president?
Yeah, so you're gonna be busy as fuck.
Yeah. At the age of like 80.
Yeah.
Why? What is appealing about this?
Nothing. Like, enjoy. This is what I don't get. It's like, enjoy time with your friends and family. Like,
I don't understand. Yeah, dude is 77. But anyway, if you do something good, I will accept it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think to myself, like, maybe because like, I don't know, my grandparents retired early-ish, like I just like, I don't see the appeal of working to 80.
Well, here's the only appeal. Here's the only way that I can kind of see it is if they really are passionate about making a change.
That's true.
But people like Trump and maybe even Biden, because I feel like he doesn't really, he's kind of like just like there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't seem very passionate about making like a big change. You know what I mean? He's more just like a career politician.
Yeah.
But like someone like, for example, Bernie wants to make changes. Like, is it Bernie? Why does that sound weird right now? Bernie Sanders, right?
No, I think that's right.
It's right? That sounds really weird all of a sudden. Anyway.
We haven't talked about him for a while. That's why.
Yeah, that's probably why. So certain people that are like really passionate about making the world a better place, in that way, maybe, they're activists essentially. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, and they argue too, like, as you become older, the importance of having hobbies and all that kind of stuff,
right?
It helps keep you young, right? Because if you retire and you just sit at your house and don't do anything, like, you'll age a lot faster.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you keep busy, it keeps your mind fresh. It keeps all of these things.
Then we all keep busy.
Well, I'm not going to keep super busy, but I'm definitely going to have
you need to have
do.
hobbies,
or even just like get a part-time job,
social life, hobbies, interests, like anything. Yeah.
I think that's important, right?
It's
like,
very important for your mental health as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important for like, preventing like, like degenerative diseases.
There was actually, when I was living in the UK, there was this commercial. I can't remember which company. Anyway, one of these companies, they do a famous commercial every single holiday Christmas. I don't know if it's like Marks and Spencer's or one of them, and they're known for their like Christmas holiday. This one, or their Christmas commercial, and this commercial that they released this one year, it was so sad. It was about like, it was a good cause. It was like, buy something and give it to somebody at an old folks home, or like, like try to engage with that community, because they were saying like the stats of people that are older, like in their 70s, 80s and stuff, are some of the loneliest demographics of people.
I mean, are we surprised?
No, but it's so sad.
It's very sad.
And that's why there was another thing too on this note. We might have talked about it in the podcast, but there's like I think it was in Sweden. They're testing out, or they have these communities that are hybrid.
Yes, we've talked about it many times.
Right. Yeah, we did. I forget sometimes.
You always forget what we talk about.
I don't always like.
We literally have these conversations every time.
I know we talk about a lot of stuff. Okay, Rose.
No, tell them about the communities. We talked about it many times.
Yeah, we have. We talked about
We
it.
probably talked about
Yeah.
it.
But basically, I don't know if it's in Sweden. Is it in Sweden?
It's
Or
either
like
Sweden or Denmark or one of those
one of
places.
they have these like communities that they've established, which are hybrid communities where you have like people of all different ages,
Yeah.
all living there. You have older people, younger people, and I think that they also come together like once a week or something.
Yeah.
To have, like,
So
dinner.
this is what I understand is that they each have their own home. So it's like you have your own space, and then they have like an area where everyone can just like eat together. So I think it's I could be wrong, but it might be every evening, but maybe it depends on the community.
Yeah.
But like every evening, like each household, or maybe a few households are like responsible for making dinner for everybody. So then they take turns making dinner, and then they just like all eat together. And like, how wholesome is that?
That's so nice.
Like, that's what we need.
Yeah. I mean, the sense of community is like, especially like in Canada, it's like gone.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it honestly, like, I don't understand. No wonder people are depressed. No wonder people are feeling like whatever it is, because it's like we don't have community anymore.
I wonder if there's gonna be a movement to like reconnect to community now, though. People
I
are
want
like,
one. I'll start it.
Yeah. Should we start one?
I think we should.
God damn.
But it's just depressing.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about this all the time, but it's like this over reliance on like what do you call it? Like the single family home.
Yeah.
And then expecting everything that you need to come out of your single family home. And then anything outside of that is like no more.
This is why, though, honestly, like I know like obviously every country has its problems, but like one of the things I really loved about being in Spain is the fact that like at first it was weird for me, but I loved it. I would like leave the school that I was teaching at, and I'd go, and there'd be there's like always plazas everywhere, right?
Oh, love the plazas.
And literally, like, you would go there, like, me and my friends would meet sometimes, have like a coffee in the plaza, and there would always be like families there, friends, big groups of friends, like just groups of people hanging out.
Yeah.
All the time. And like all of the parents of the kids, like I remember one time they did like this Halloween, I think it was like a Halloween thing, like performance for the parents. Anyway, me and my friend were walking through this like plaza right by my school. And like literally all the kids that I taught were there. They were all like running up to me, like saying hi, introducing me to like their parents and their grandparents. And like literally there was like so many people in this plaza.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, it's just so nice to see it.
And
like,
we would never have that here.
No, like
No.
it just doesn't happen really. It's like they'll come pick up the kids from school and everyone leaves. You know what I mean?
Literally. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I do want to know, like, people with kids, like, do they, I'm sure they interact a little more with like other people with kids.
Oh yeah, probably. Like you'd have like friends that were like friends with your kids.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, basically that's why it's like, if you're single, you're kind of fucked, because it's like all your friends get married, then they have kids, and then you don't have like a community, and then you're just like, okay.
And then next thing you know,
But even people that are in relationships, you're also kind of fucked if you don't have anything outside of your relationship.
Exactly, because you know what? Also, relationships you can be unhappy in,
Yes.
but also not even just being unhappy in. It's like,
But you need more than just one.
Exactly, not one person is that person that's going to give you everything. That
Exactly. How do we get into this topic?
We're all over the place today, Rose.
We
I haven't seen
are.
you for so long.
God damn.
That's a lie.
I literally saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
Wait, what did we do yesterday? Or was it the day before? What did we do?
Oh,
Oh, we went out to the. Okay.
Yeah, we went out to the.
We went out.
That event.
Yeah. What was the other? Oh, this is one story I want to talk about. I guess we don't have too much time. Taylor Swift
Oh, goddamn,
causing a little controversy.
Goddamn, what was she? What's she doing? Didn't she release a new album?
She just released a new album, and Taylor Swift is like a whole. She's like the white Beyonce or something. Like, people are like obsessed with her.
Yeah, either good or bad though.
Really? Do people not like her?
Well, a lot of people were saying, like, I know she got some backlash. Like,
This is what I want to talk about.
I don't know if it's the same.
Oh, okay.
I'm
What's
talking
the
about
backlash?
Historic backlash, where like she got made fun of a lot, actually, because
She dates a lot.
because she dates a lot, and it's so funny because she would speak out quite vocally about it. She's like, if guys do this, it's not a problem, but because I'm a woman,
Of course.
and everyone's like harping on her, like all these relationships are like, don't date Taylor Swift, she'll write a song about you.
Oh my God.
It was like a whole thing. Like, I remember.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so true that like, yeah, if a guy is like dating a lot, it's just like, oh, okay. He's obviously very attractive.
He's a player.
Yeah. It's like, okay. She's a young, attractive woman in Hollywood. I mean, let her have it. Fucking hell.
Exactly. God, if I was a young, attractive woman in Hollywood, I'd be dating a lot as well, guys.
So one thing that caused controversy this time around. So her music video came out for her song called Anti-Hero. Have you heard that one?
No.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It's that one. Have you not heard it yet?
No.
Anyway, it's blowing up. Very popular
Is
right
it a
now.
good song or?
I mean, I probably only know that line from TikToks. I haven't actually heard the full song.
Yeah.
I'm not a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie either.
Is that what they call them? Swifties?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, like I don't have anything against Taylor Swift.
But it's never been hugely appealing.
Her music is just never. It's never been. It's not like, for example, like Britney Spears or like
Yeah.
some of these other pop artists. I've really like enjoyed their music.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, for hers, I've never got into
It's
it.
alright.
There was a couple songs that I was like, okay, I can vibe to this, but a lot of them I'm just kind of like, oh, like they're not bad songs. They're just
totally.
not my jam.
Totally,
for sure.
totally. But she's like an institution. People love her, and apparently hate her at the same time.
Yeah.
So apparently, she caused some controversy in this new music video, and the song is called Anti-Hero, and it basically is let me just read this article. In the video, it features Swift critiquing and satirizing anyway, herself, her relationship with the media, and her fandom. And at one point, she gets on a scale and it reads fat. That's the controversy. Do you know why?
Is it because like? But I don't think it's that.
Guess why that's controversial.
Because she's skinny, and people are like, "Oh, you're," I just don't get why that would be so like controversial.
So people are saying that it's fat phobic.
Of course they are. No, but my problem is, you know what? If I was Taylor Swift, I can see why she would put that in a music video, because in Hollywood and under the limelight, there is so much pressure for you to be skinny and be in shape and fit. And even if you're not remotely what they expect, like even I remember Selena Gomez at one point, who is stunning and all this stuff. There was a picture of her in a bathing suit and like it was an unflattering angle. People ripped her a new one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she is a normal woman.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So like I could see why someone like Taylor Swift would put that in the music
Totally,
video.
because
it's almost like to say fuck you to the media.
And well, I think it's to say that like that's how she viewed herself when she stepped on a scale, or like when she looked at herself.
Yeah.
Because that's what the media was saying she was. Like,
exactly.
oh, like, like, so it's almost like a body dysmorphia or whatever, where you think you're fat when you're like, she's clearly not fat at all.
Yeah.
So, but the problem that people have is that, and this is not a lot of people, but it is like a significant chunk of people, I think, that are in the body positive space.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it was the problem with the use of the word fat, which many argue that it upholds the idea of fat as a negative thing.
So what should she have put on there then?
So somebody wrote this. Somebody wrote, she could have used any word. She could have used, instead of fat,
heavy,
any word to get her message across without using fat phobia. And here's a list: unworthy, the problem, unlovable, bad, not good enough, rejected, better, broken. But that's not.
None of those are hitting the problem though. Like this is the thing.
Exactly.
People can say what they want about this, guys. Like, and I you know what? I'm going to actually defend Taylor Swift in this. Only because the people are saying, hey, this is fat phobic. This is blah, 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 blah. Again, we talk about this so many times on the podcast, and I get a little bit frustrated because, again, it's context, right? The reason, at least, again, I don't know Taylor Swift, obviously, but like maybe we should get her on this podcast. You know? I'll send her I'll slide into her DMs. But like, from my perspective and like what I would think, the reason that she did that, again, is like what we were talking about, is the pressure that she felt from the media and how she felt that that's the feedback that she was getting, and the pressure to remain thin. And if you do put on a little bit of weight, everyone's saying you're fat and all this stuff. Putting unworthy, putting all of these other things on the scale doesn't make sense with the message she was trying to convey.
It doesn't make sense, because like, why would she step on a scale then?
Exactly. Why would? Because she could just be there and it could
look
have
at her face and say, "Oh, I'm unworthy."
Exactly.
Like I can understand, like I can kind of get within their logic, right? Like within the logic of people thinking that like fat shouldn't be a negative thing. Like they're saying that like by her putting fat, it's insinuating that fat is negative.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I don't know. Like I just.
And also like it's kind of like, then do they blame everybody? It's like because there's a lot of people that have body dysmorphia and then they are afraid of becoming fat or whatever, or like, or they think that they're fat, but they're like not. Like, is that problematic too? But it's like, when you have an eating disorder, it's not very rational, is it? Like,
no, it's not.
It's already not very rational. And it's not telling, like, I don't know. Like, are you that insecure that you really care that much about what like this Taylor Swift Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do kind of in some ways
like understand a little bit,
like
like,
a little bit, because they want to move away from this narrative that being fat is a negative thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because it shouldn't be. But I think that the thing is, unfortunately, that is the reality of the world that we're in.
Right.
And I think that was what Taylor was trying to do in her music video.
It's like being fat should be seen as bad.
Exactly.
And being fat is seen as bad.
Yeah.
And I feel fat because people call me fat, and I feel like that's the kind of thing.
Exactly. And I'm responding to what's going on in my current situation right now. Like, maybe she could have used a different word. I don't know, like heavy or something. I don't know.
I don't
like,
think she could have used a different word.
Like, I feel like it doesn't convey the same message. And I think everybody's on their own personal, like, journeys and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this starts to get really, I don't know.
So basically what they're saying is that nobody should feel insecure about their body, like, for being fat.
Yeah.
Or like for gaining weight or caring about being skinny.
Which I don't disagree with. No one should feel that. But the reality is, especially in Hollywood, Taylor and all of these, especially female celebrities and male ones to some degree as well,
are very heavily criticized.
Exactly. So that's what she's responding to.
Yeah.
Not making some political statement to be like fat is bad and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what the media has done to her.
Right.
Right.
And even though she's not fat at all.
Yeah.
It's
like Britney Spears. She did that song "Piece of Me," and in that song, she's like, you know, I'm too big, I'm too thin.
Right.
You know, and she got a bunch of backlash about that too.
Really? Did she?
Yeah.
God damn.
Like,
really? God, people they just love to pick apart female artists and their songs. Like, I do not see male artists ever getting picked apart this badly.
No, not really.
Like, when's the last time people are critiquing like a guy's fucking song
so
and like
in depth,
picking apart the little things or picking apart their music video? Like, come on, people.
Well, you know, what was it? Lil Nas X did get a little bit of backlash.
Oh, but that's because he's gay, though.
I know. And actually another artist as well. So there's been some controversy around Sam Smith's recent single as well.
Oh my God. I keep saying like, not memes, but people kind of making fun of it.
Of him.
Of like the music video and just like some of the dance moves.
Yeah. He's gone like, but I think he's being true to himself, right? Like,
sure.
he's
whatever he wants to do.
Like, yeah. But the actual lyrics, if you like listen to the song and stuff.
Because that's the one that we were talking about, right?
Yeah. Because what it's about, if you guys like listen to, it's called Unholy. And you listen to the lyrics and stuff, it's actually about these closeted men that are married with families, basically cheating on their wives in these like bathhouses. And like, you know, Sam said he's like speaking on his own personal experience.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting, or it's not interesting.
Was
but
I
like,
talking to you about this or someone else?
I can't remember. We
can't
might have
remember
talked
either.
about it. But like, again, unfortunately, as much backlash as he gets from that song, that's a reality.
Why is he getting backlash for the song?
Oh, just like
the video is too like raunchy.
Yeah, it's too raunchy. It's like the song.
It's such bullshit.
I know.
This fucking shit pisses me off. Look at any hip hop music video by any male hip hop artist and fucking tell me that's not fucking raunchy.
Yeah.
It's like when everyone made a big fucking deal about that song like Wet Ass Pussy.
WAP.
WAP.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Get a mop and a bucket.
And like they were like, oh my God, this is degeneracy.
This
like,
is disgusting.
It's fucking gross. I'm like, have you seen any hip hop music video in the last like 30 years? Because they are literally all like this.
I know.
But because it's women rapping, it's a fucking problem. Are you fucking kidding me? Look at any male artist. There's women in thongs, like their ass fucking shaking in front of the goddamn camera.
I know. And also some of the lyrics are so explicit.
Yes, nobody cares when it's a guy. Nobody cares when it's a guy's lyrics. Literally, guys' lyrics are so much worse than like wet ass pussy.
The WAP, we'll call it.
It's so much worse. So it's like it pisses me off. So of course the gay guy is gonna get fucking tackled.
Yeah. They'll get.
It's probably because he's also being like a little
femme.
A little femme. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and actually in the gay community, that's another thing. Like femme is.
It's kind of derogatory.
Well, it's not derogatory.
The gay community is a little judgmental.
Oh my God, the gay community, guys.
We need to reform the gay community a little bit.
Because you know what? The one thing that's so crazy about the gay community, guys, is the fact that like obviously we don't want to be judged. You know? But like
y'all judge.
Oh god damn, they be judgmental as all hell.
And very also like
cliquey.
Body cliquey, yeah, okay. Yeah. And also very body very obsessed with body image.
Oh yeah. Huge.
Like that must be a big problem.
Oh, there's a lot of actually like eating disorders and stuff in the gay community.
I can understand.
Like if you ever watch RuPaul's Drag Race, like I
Right.
can almost guarantee every single episode, you know, when they get emotional and when they put their makeup on, like so many times I've heard them talk about eating disorders.
God,
and
it's
stuff
so sad
because of like body dysmorphia in the gay community.
See, that's another problem. Yeah, I've seen so many people that are like, in the gay community, they're like, oh yeah, amongst the gays, like this is not acceptable. I'm like, oh my God.
I always say, I joke.
You say this shit too.
I half joke, but I half joke, and I'm always like, if in the gay community, I'm considered like morbidly obese.
Oh my God. You are not.
I know, but like, you know, I joke to kind of poke fun at it, but at the same time, like
there's a little bit of truth to the
that.
body, body
so
image issues.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, well, there was that.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end.
Oh, God damn, it's the end already.
We didn't say our line, Daniel.
And on that positive note, guys.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, I'm back for good.
You are for at least
for a month.
Yeah. So guys, again,
I'm staying put.
If there's one thing to take away from this podcast today,
remember how to deal with a crowd. Anytime you're going to go into an event, maybe do a little reminder, a little check, and just see like what you need to do in those sort of situations. Stay safe. Oh my God.
Because you know what, we all, you know, at the end of the day, especially that event is so sad because everyone was there just to have a good time.
That's what I'm saying.
They want to party, they wanted to enjoy, and like, guys, let's just, you know, let's learn from this and, you know, try to take precautions where we can, but still enjoy life.
I know. And remember that there's no promise of tomorrow.
Exactly. Oh, God. On that positive note, Rose,
I'm just saying we need to live every day to
as
the
if
fullest.
it's our last.
No, but yeah, maybe like just, you know, just remind yourself that it's, you know, it could all end in one Halloween. No, God.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's not go down there.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, if you are watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Like the video.
Yeah, you can do a thumbs up for YouTube.
Yeah, you can. Okay.
Like the video. Make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, if you're not already.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. Although we've been slacking a little bit, haven't we?
Oh, goddamn, yes.
Damn, Dana, we need
to up our game.
We need
guys.
to up our game. Fuck.
There's so many things going on. Oh.
There's too much going on. I just want to retire.
Me too. You mean you don't want to run for president at
the
ripe young age of 82? I'll remind you this, Rose, when you're running for presidency and or prime minister in Canada, I'll be like, Rose.
How do they have the energy? Anyway, you guys, stay safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.